It was just chaos. People were running everywhere, screaming, just everything. It was just insane. And I held her hand and tried to reassure her that everything was going to be okay. I called 911. I waited and waited, and it seemed like eternity for paramedics to get there.
Her name was Anne-Marie D'Amico. She is one of the 10 people who died yesterday on Yonge Street when a van ran them down on the sidewalk. She just turned 30 and was a longtime volunteer at Tennis Canada and worked in an investment management firm. But most of all, she was loved by many. Good evening. Amidst the horror that took place here on Yonge Street yesterday, when we saw the worst of humanity unfold, some showed us the very best of humanity. One of those people was a man who tried to help Anne-Marie, and he spoke to us today because he wanted to let her family know that she was not alone in her final moments, that someone was with her who deeply cared. Now, this is a very painful interview to watch, and on our screen will be the special hotline number the city announced yesterday for anyone who needs help to call. We begin now with Rob Greco, who was simply driving to work yesterday afternoon on what was a typical day in Toronto.
I'm almost 3/4 of the way through an intersection, and I hear the roar of an engine beside me, and I start thinking, where could this guy possibly be going when there's a parked vehicle there? And then I see him jump up onto the curb. I see this van just start taking people out. The last person I saw was a girl by the name of Anne-Marie, and I immediately jumped out of my van and ran to be by her side. And I held her hand and tried to reassure her that everything was going to be okay. I called 911. I waited and waited, and it seemed like eternity for paramedics to get there. They finally came, and it was just chaos. People were running everywhere, screaming, just everything. It was just insane. I did what I could, and unfortunately, the first name I heard today was hers, passing away. And I was hopeful that she was going to survive. I thought it was just a mistake, a bad dream, you know, I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe what was happening, and I just kept wondering why. What's going on here?
Rob says he assisted paramedics as they tried to help Anne-Marie and stayed with her until she was put in the ambulance. He held her hand the entire time.
I brushed the hair away from her face and just stayed the whole time with her. I took a sleeping pill last night to try and sleep because I just kept replaying everything in my head, and I still couldn't sleep. And every chance I got, I was Googling her name and trying to Facebook and see if I could find who she is, or her parents, or somebody that obviously loves and cares about her, and just to let them know that, you know, she wasn't alone. And I don't know if that's any comfort to anyone when you've lost someone that you love. But that was all that I could do. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to do more to help.
And just moments ago, police began taking down the yellow tape, and they are lifting the blockade of the street. Yonge Street is starting to reopen. People have been bringing flowers and leaving them along the sidewalk. Now, Rob Greco told us he is going to get counseling, but he knows that he will be forever haunted by what he saw yesterday. Anne-Marie's family released a statement today which reads in part, Anne-Marie had a generous heart and always did big things for people. She genuinely wanted to care for all of those around her, even if it meant sacrificing a portion of herself in return for others' happiness. We want everyone to know that she embodied the definition of altruism. It comforts us knowing that the world has a chance to know her, and we hope that in this time people fight with the same altruism rather than anger and hatred. And I spoke with Anne Marie's brother Nick today, who told me that she would have done exactly the same thing that Rob did for her. She would have stopped to help a stranger and offered kindness, caring, and compassion. And he would like the world to remember her that way.